Welcome, everybody. Happy December. This is the right tool for QuickBooks Online bi-monthly, every other month update, November, December edition based on 1.37.6, which is the latest edition that was uploaded on December 3rd, 2025. Like all things right tool, we do new updates every week or so as things in QuickBooks break, and then we have to go back and recode stuff. So if you're watching this live, you're going to be in 1.37.6. If you're watching the recording afterwards, you're going to be in a different version. One thing I do want to showcase, and I want to thank Mark. Check out what I'm wearing here. I'm just going to stop share screen. So this is a baseball jersey that says Right Tool on it. This was my Christmas present from Mark, him knowing that I'm a huge baseball fan and I coach to my kids, and I wore it in the field the other day, and people are like, what team is that? And I'm like, the best team in the world. So it's very cool, man. Very, very thoughtful of Mark. Thank you for sending my early Christmas/birthday present. Okay, so today we're going to spend some time kind of catching you up in the world of RightTool. We're going to talk about the certification program that we're very excited to kind of soft launch at this point. We'll kind of, for some people, I know we have a bunch of brand new users. And for some people, just kind of recap, how to install RightTool, what browsers it works in and it doesn't work in. Then we'll talk about the RightTool community. It's extremely, extremely important that that as many people as possible, as many people as feasible, actually join our Facebook community, mostly because that is where we spend most of our time getting feedback. And because it's really important for us to react quickly, everybody that's part of the community pretty much agrees that the speed in which we respond to challenges, questions, super quick, because we spend a lot of time in Facebook. So I know some people are against Facebook and whatever. Okay, fine. You can email us. But
Yeah.
I guarantee you that if you spend some time in that community, you see other people's feedbacks, you see other people celebrating things that RightTool helped them do. It starts opening your mind about the possibilities. We have over 130 features in RightTool, and it's okay to be overwhelmed and feel that it's too many things to know. And every once in a while, another user will tell you proactively, how RightTool particularly helped them. We have mostly accounting professionals in that community, just because that's sort of our target market for the pro users. But the free users of RightTool use it quite a bit, and some of them are accountants, some of them are business owners, and I've seen a lot of accountants share it with their business owners, clients, which is great. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to do a quick recap on RightTool Pro versus Pro Lite. We've had some questions recently about it. There was some areas of confusion on the difference between one and the other, and the pricing and the features. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we will talk about one of the initiatives that we have for 2026 is trying to get in touch with as many accounting communities as possible and create a mutual benefit. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about updated and improved features that were existing. So nothing necessarily new that you haven't seen before, but we maybe fixed things that were broken or improved its functionality. Then we'll talk about anything we added on the free edition of RightTool, like a brand new feature we added in the free edition, and then anything we added on the pro side. Mark, anything to mention before I jump into the content?
No, I think that covers most of it. It'll be a
All right.
very improvement focused webinar today.
Yeah, very much improving features and catching up with all the QuickBooks UI updates. And there's another huge UI update coming up, which is on the reports, which is also going to cost us to have to play catch up with all the report related features, like quite a bit, like an avalanche of change for us in the report screen is coming. And then if we have some chance towards the end, maybe I'll show you what the new screen looks like, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so the RightTool certification program, we're super excited. We have soft launched it. We have 2 types of certifications. I actually forgot to put the link here for the
Playlist. You want me to just get that and put it in? You can
playlist.
continue.
Yeah, let's see who's faster at getting
Oh,
that.
probably you, but
Probably me. Yeah. Yeah, so like we have a specific playlist that has all 3 certification videos in sequence. One thing that's nice about this playlist is people have asked us in the past, hey, is there a place where I can learn all of RightTool? Like not even like forget about like certification conceptually. Just people wanted to know like how do I know everything there is to know about RightTool, or how do I get started? And I'll click on this really quick, just kind of walk you through it. The videos are available to the public. There are three parts, parts one to 3. If you go back into the channel here and go into playlist, you see the playlist here, RightTool certification program. That playlist has all 3 right here. So you see part 1, part 2, and part 3. So you can have access to that. I just want to make sure that we have that the right playlist link here on the slides. I'm just gonna give me
I
a
just put
second.
the playlist. I just put it in.
Okay, yeah,
So
you
it goes to,
update.
you
Okay,
had the first video link. This is
yeah,
the
yeah, thank
playlist
you.
itself.
So there's the actual
Surprisingly difficult
playlist.
to
So you
find.
click on that, it'll get you to the first video, and then you can watch all 3 videos in sequence. Now, there's no deadline. Like you can watch these at any point in time. You know, you can take the exam whenever you want. You don't have to take the exams. You don't want to get certified, fine. If you want to use it just for training, that's available there. It's freely available, all 3 videos. Now, the first video, part 1, covers all the content you need for the certified RightTool user program. That's level 1. That's going to be available to all free users. It's going to be available to all free users. It's not going to be gated or anything like that. So anybody that wants to get certified, they can. And then parts 2 and parts 3, which covers the non-batching and the batching features for the Pro Edition, both of those parts will contain the content needed to pass the Pro exam. Okay, so the Pro exam is going to be a little bit more complex than the user exam. So here's a breakdown of the benefits. So the certified user program, the test is available now. You can start taking the quiz. We're improving the quiz process, but at least we soft launched it already at this point. So we're excited about that. Like I said, you have to have an account in righttoolpro.com. I'll walk you through that process. It's a 40-question exam. It's not timed. You just have to complete it in one sitting. You can take it unlimited times. You know, you can fail it a million times. And the benefit at the end is just to get some training, right? You can use the logo, add it to your profiles, put it on your resume, have bragging rights, whatever you want to do. The certified user program is just a training, step in the door type program for people to say, okay, I went through the process of at least telling people that I know the basics of RightTool. The certified expert program, that really is the flagship program, the one that we're most excited about, just because we know we have a really great community. And I know people are very excited about getting certified and being the highest level of certification. We have a lot of benefits also. So first of all, let's talk about how it works. So you must be a paid or pro user to access the exam. So there's no cost to take the exam, but it's only available to real users. That way, the only way to be a certified expert is you're actually a user. Okay, so you have to be both a user and an expert. It's going to be a 75-question exam. It's not timed, it must be completed in one sitting. You can take it up to 3 times in a 60-day window. So like, we don't want you to try Christmas tree in this one. You want to take your time. It's an open book exam, so you can go have YouTube open, have RightTool open, whatever you want, and do that. The benefits is, of course, you can use the logo or your profiles, put in your resume, bragging rights. Plus, we have the option to get listed in the RightTool Expert public directory. We're going to have early access to those folks, to beta features, to like brand new features. So you sort of become part of the development process, which we're very particularly excited about that. We're going to have an affiliate program, revenue sharing program, which we're going to launch really early next year. So if you recommend RightTool to other users, we're going to have that. And also, one thing that we're still trying to figure out how this is going to work, but we're a very small team, and we don't necessarily have the budget to hire a full-blown training team and support team and sales team. So we are going to figure out, with our experts, with our expert community, is who would like to be available on demand to train other users. So maybe onboard new users, give some support, some implementation support, and then maybe we could pay you to do that. At the end of the day, the idea is that our RightTool community is all helping each other, right? And then we all share the wealth that comes from doing that. So RightTool Pro directory, let me just go over that really quick. So if I go to RightToolPro.com, okay, this is our sort of our official website. I'm going to log out for a second so you can see that. And we're going to have a link here on the top right. And then we're going to be marketing the directory. Like, this is very, very early stages. We're going to go in directory, and then everybody that gets certified as an expert, not a user, as an expert, will be listed here. Well, we'll have the option to be listed here because maybe you want to get certified, but you don't want to have your public profile out there. We're going to figure out how to best structure the search, whether we do it by certification level or by other certifications or by niche or specialty. For now, we're just going to have your name, your title, the badge, and then a picture and a description. This is Patrick, our backend developer for RightTool, who's technically the only person listed here because he did it as an example. But Mark and I will be listed there when we take the pro exam, which is not available even to us yet. We're still working on that. And then we're going to take your feedback as well in terms of like, what features should the directory have? Like, how do we narrow, how does an outside user of the RightTool world, which is going to be a QuickBooks user, because the only way somebody lands in a RightTool expert directory is they are a QuickBooks user. How do they find you? And what we really want is for clients, for small business owners, to hire an expert, a RightTool, to help them implement RightTool in their own company. And then hopefully, they pay you for that, but hopefully they also, you can also capture them as a client. So that's kind of our vision there. It could also be a community for experts to like hire each other and just leverage each other's expertises, that sort of thing. We're open to see where it goes from there. Okay, let's talk about downloading RightTool. And then there's two ways to download RightTool. One is if you go to RightTool.app, which is different than RightToolPro.com. We have a link right there at the very beginning, RightTool app /free, which takes you to the landing page of the Google Chrome web store. Now, this RightTool is a Chrome-based extension. That means you can only install it via the browser directly. Now, if you don't have RightTool installed, so I'm going to remove it. I'm going to uninstall it. If you don't have RightTool installed, your QuickBooks will just look like regular QuickBooks. And then all you have to do is click on Add to Chrome. You click on that. And after you add to Chrome, you just click on Add Extension. You get this pop-up for the service and private policy. And that's it. That's literally RightTool. It's a one-click process to do that. You have to be in this landing page, which you can be directed to a regular website or that. And it works in all sorts of Chromium-based browsers, right? So Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Brave, Opera, Vivaldi, not Vivaldo. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Arc, the new AI browsers from OpenAI like Atlas and Perplexity's Comet. Those are Chromium-based browsers, which is great. So any Chromium-based browser, that means it was based on Chromium. There are places that it doesn't work, and people ask us all the time. It's on Firefox. It does not work on Firefox. I don't know if we're going to ever be able to. I know there's some portability with Chrome extensions and Firefox, but we haven't cracked that nut yet. Safari, definitely for sure. And Safari's for sure it doesn't work. And that one is probably never. Like I actually think that Apple will never, ever, ever open up extensions for Safari just because of security reasons. Apple does that unless Apple changes their mind on extensions. And I don't know if Apple wants to have their own ecosystem of extensions. And I don't know if they do that. We have to pay Apple to be able. Who the heck knows? Apple is very sort of closed when it comes to that, and so I don't want to promise that we'll be able to have any of those at any point in time. And QuickBooks' own desktop app. People ask all the time. They love the desktop app for numerous reasons. I'm not a big fan of it, but people like it. They want to see RightTool there. It's just not possible. QuickBooks never made that browser compatible with Chrome extensions. Mark, I don't know if you want to add anything on that. I'm sure you have something to add on that.
Yeah, the Safari and Firefox thing, yeah, we're looking at it. Firefox, we still are very early stage. Safari, we've looked at, and it's more difficult than you'd be led to believe based on looking it up online. But I think that's just because RightTool, as a general statement, is an abomination of an extension compared to what like the original intent of extensions were, to be clear. Just like extensions were originally designed to be much smaller than what
Right.
RightTool
It's
is.
highly intrusive, so to speak. Like RightTool is
It's a
super
very large
yeah.
extension.
Okay.
So the conversion process doesn't work exactly the same way with Safari as online searching and information about it would lead you to believe.
Exactly. Okay. So the next thing is I want to talk about the RightTool community. So first of all, we have 38,000 plus downloads, and we could track this because the Google Chrome Web Store tells us active downloads. These are people that have downloaded and not uninstalled the extension in the past week. We have over 137. We have 137 five-star ratings. We would absolutely love more five-star ratings. Of course, this is the engine that kind of pushes more people to kind of discover us. We have paying users, pro and pro light users, and some of them are firm users and that sort of thing. We have over 3,600, so super exciting. So we have finally $1 million plus revenue company. So we actually recently got a physical space in Winston-Salem. So we're about to sign a contract. So we're going to have a physical office, which is incredible. We're going to have our development team there in North Carolina. We don't have anybody from outside of the United States, only US developers. The Facebook group, that's the one where I kind of want you to focus on. We got 5,400 users. The Facebook group has both pro users and free users. So there's the link in the slides for that. And people ask all the time. We announce new things, like for example, Michael can let us know that shift click is not working on banking match screen. That that immediate speed allows us to react and work on that immediately. Like somebody's telling us, hey, this is bothering us. Other people suggesting something broken in QuickBooks. We'll try to figure out if this is something that we can help with. So this actually helps us. It helps us quite a bit for people to give us feedback. This feature request here from yesterday, which we're probably going to add in the next couple of days. I mean, just like the focus that I have, that we have is just getting the comments, everything that people tell us not working or feature suggestions. We're going to work on this the fastest, and also you're going to know the fastest when we fix it, when we add new features. And we do email blasts and we do the webinars, but I think the fastest way we can communicate to you is via the Facebook group. Okay, so let me talk really quick for those of you that are not paying users. Put in the chat. I just want to see how many people are free users. Just type free in there just to kind of get a general idea of the people watching live, how many are using the free version. So this is kind of focused on the people that are on the free version. And like my job, as the owner of the company, as co-founder, and Mark as well, is to create tons of value in the free edition. So it feels like a no-brainer to move to the pro edition. There's two types of pro editions. One is the Pro Plus. This is the classic one. This is the one that we first started with. This is what most people are in. It removes the ads. It adds unlimited features, unlimited access to the pro features, which is 60 plus at this point. It's ideal for multi-user firms because there's an additional per user fee that's much lower, and solo practitioners that want unlimited access to the pro features. Now, keep in mind that the fee that we charge is not per client, per company, is per user. So you can have a gazillion clients. It really doesn't matter. We actually don't even know how many clients you have or the name of your clients. We don't access that information. What the pro account also gives you on top of the pro features, which really is the big one, is the ability to save or back up your RT settings. So you can, log into another computer and do that, or transfer your IT settings to another user, or limit another user in your firm to be able to use, this features or that feature, or create a template for everybody in your team to use RightTool the exact same way. So we have that multi-user features locked in. Access to the Fort, which is additional content and benefits, access to the RightTool Certified Expert Program, which we just recently announced, and that's $75 a month, plus $25 a month for additional team member. If you're a current free user, give it a try. 14 days. Even if you forget to cancel in the 14 days, just email us and we'll refund it. But definitely give it a try. Like at least don't not try it, because I'm telling you, it almost everybody that tells us that use it, they say it's worth every single penny, and you can see all over social media people talking about it. For those that are solo practitioners that don't have multiple team members, you could try the Pro Lite account. It's no ads, just like the Pro Plus. You can save your settings, access to the Fort, access to the certification program. It's $35 a month, so it's less than half of the Pro Plus. The only caveat is you can only use one pro feature at a time. And this is our feedback. People tell us, Hector, $75 is too much for me for whatever reason, which, by the way, if you're an accounting professional, that shouldn't be. Otherwise, seriously consider increasing your prices. That's a different conversation as a whole. But, every accounting professional should be able to afford $75 for a power tool like this. But for $35, you get all the power of pro. You can only turn on one pro feature at the time. And that's not once per month. That's you could turn one on, do the thing, then turn the other one on, do the thing, and do that. So we create that little friction there, just so we can have a difference in value between the $35 a month and the $75 a month. For those already used to using multiple pro features, we don't recommend going down to Pro Plus, just because if you're not used to going back and changing the settings all the time, that's going to drive you a little bit crazy. So I'll talk about the RightTool Pro account really quick, just because it is so important for everybody to know how to use this. So I am logged out. Everybody, pro users and free users, need to have a RightTool Pro account. It needs to have a RightTool account in the website. And let me explain to you why. Traditionally, when we set up the free version of RightTool, we never capture your name or email. We don't know who you are. We just let you use the extension. We'll continue to do that. However, the free, and I want you to listen to me. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And I want you to pay attention to me. The ability to change and customize your settings for free users is going to go away on January 1st, unless you have a logged in account. Again,
logged in free account. To be clear, it's still a free account.
Correct. You don't have to be
logged in.
So the ability to change your settings, will require you to have an account that you have to log in. You don't have to pay, but you have to log in. So you can still download the extension. The extension will still work, but it'll only work with the pre-designed settings. If you want to turn off or turn on any of the settings, in other words, if you want to access let me just go into QuickBooks here real quick. So if you want to access the RightTool settings here, these settings here, if you want to be able to turn
you want to share your screen again?
Oh, sorry. Just going back. So if you want to be able to change these things, turn things off or turn things on, other than the default that we give you, if you want to customize it, you have to have an account. Now, how do you set up an account? Well, you go to righttoolpro.com. You go righttoolpro.com, you go into account and you click on register. Easy, okay? And then in here, it says here, RightTool free. Okay, you don't have to pay anything. You click on Get Started. You put your company name, information. There's no asking you for your credit card. Put your password and create login. You have to go to that process. Once you log in, it will look something like this. Okay. It will have something in the top that says, hey, sign up for Pro. Of course, we're going to be marketing, right? The process for you to sign up for Pro. When you're ready to upgrade from a free account to Pro account, you click on Get Started here, and then you choose whether you want Pro Plus or Pro Lite. Again, both of these go in a 14-day free trial. Okay, so you'll be able to do those. Promo code, there's no active promo code that's public. We are, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. We're working with communities to look for to have partnerships with discount programs for this. So we'll talk about that. So when you're part of another community, maybe you get a discount of sorts, to get access to RightTool, and then vice versa on the other side. So that's kind of what we're working on. So you go to add payment method, you add your credit card information, and you activate your subscription. Otherwise, you could stay with a free account. Again, you'll know it's a free account because you're being, advertised, to set up a free trial for a Pro account. And then in here, you'll be able to click on certifications. And then from here, you can click on RightTool Certified User. And you can click on Take Test. And this is where you can start taking your exam. Okay. So you start answering the questions. And then once you're done, it will say whether you passed it or not. Okay. I'm just Christmas treeing this thing. Okay. So that's where you take the certification exam. Like I said, the beginning of December, we're going to have all the additional things in here. And then you'll also be able to see the certified expert exam once you're a paid user. So I'm going to log into my paid account. Okay. So when you're a Pro user, the difference is you're going to see this area that says Pro users. This is where you can add your additional firm users, that sort of thing. Here's where you can create settings. You can create predetermined settings for your firm users, and you can say, look, I want all my firm users to have a particular set of features turned on, etc. So like this is where we kind of control how your firm users can access RightTool. You have access to the fort. So the fort is Friends of RightTool. That's what it means, FORT, Friends of RightTool. We partner with other content creators to create training content, and also special discounts to access their additional programs, their additional communities, and that's only available for folks that have access to the Fort community, the Fort community, which is for Pro users. And then under certifications, you'll see both the certified expert and the certified user. And then for directory, this in here, once you get certified, there'll be a button here that says edit your profile. You'll be able to choose what you want in your directory. So that's in a nutshell the RightTool Pro account, which again, everybody needs to have an account, whether it's a free or a paid one, starting next year, to be able to change your settings. And then just the last announcement that we'll go into RightTool features is we're partnering with additional communities to look for mutual benefit for RightTool Pro users. So as you saw in the screen, we partner with Seth David for his Notion course and Notion community, with Alicia for her Royal Wise courses. We are closing the deal with bookkeepers.com, which is another very popular community. A lot of people learned how to run their bookkeeping practices through bookkeepers.com. We're going to have a mutual benefit on that. So bookkeeper.com community members will get a RightTool discount. RightTool Pro users will get a bookkeepers.com discount. Reframe Society, which is my other business that I have with my brother. We have that society that's mostly focused around helping you increase your prices and helping you get better clients. It's more like the practice management stuff. So that community, we're working a deal. So, Reframe Society users get a discount on RightTool, and RightTool Pro users get a discount on Reframe Society. And you can find that all that stuff in the fourth page. My question to you, whether you're watching this live or watching the recording afterwards, is what other communities should we reach out and build partnerships with? So I know there's a RightTool, the RightWorks community, Automation Town, Realize. I want to ask you, okay, what communities do you belong to? Like, who do you trust out there creating great communities with educational content? What will complement you as an accounting professional, as a professional in this space that we can search? And then if you know the community leaders, just introduce me to them via email. Okay. So, all right, good, good, good. So let's go into updated and improved existing features. Do you want to, Mark, you want to go over these?
Yeah, I will go ahead and go over at least some of these for sure.
Yeah, I put, now you can start, you can share the screen.
Yeah. Okay, so we have quite a few. Okay, interesting. We have quite a few new features or improvements to features, I should say. The first thing I'm going to look at is going to be inside the bank feed because that's just where we have most of our improved features. So there's two things that I want to show here. Admittedly, I am in the wrong file to really show this off, um, but that is okay. So we have two new feature or two updates as soon as this page decides to load. And this is one of the things where I don't know if it's my computer or if it's a QuickBooks thing, but we're gonna just let it go. Um, so the first thing that's kind of a little bit of a subtle thing you might see is if you have on the feature in Bank Feeds Pro that is called Enhanced Visibility in Bank Feeds, and let me just zoom in on this real quick. So a thing called enhanced visibility in bank screens. This will actually create a color coding inside of your bank page that will happen. So if you ever have rules pop up, they will pop up in this dark blue color, which will make it so it's easier to identify which things are rules versus which things are matches. And if there are transfers, those will show up as a red color, which that's why I said this is not not the best file to show this because we don't have tons of transfers in this particular file, but it would show up in a red color. So it makes it just easy to tell from a glance instead of having to like look deeper into it what type of matching situation is happening here.
Just the
So
thing to mention is, if you had this feature turned off, that would show up green.
yes, and you can
But the
actually kind of
matching,
see that a little bit if you hover over it
yeah,
because
exactly.
there's quirks.
But the
uh,
matching itself shows a different color. Is it red?
yes, the or no, the matching, just regular matching stays green, so that should be just how it goes
So
when
so
it's
which
matching.
colors are we changing? Just the rule?
So rules are blue, transfers are red, and then everything else is just the plain green that it comes with originally.
Okay, so transfers are red, rules are blue, matching will be green. What else could be green? I guess just matching would be green.
There's a new thing QuickBooks has been doing where they will have if you have paired transactions and it like knows what the pairing is, then it will like try to match those up and it'll have a tag just like this, but it'll say pair instead of rule.
And that will still
That
be green.
yes.
Okay.
So yeah, just
All right. Well,
something to keep in mind.
thanks for bringing this to the new modern bank feeds because I know we had this already in the classics for a
Yeah.
while.
The other thing is that's an update, and this is something that we need to work on to make it just slightly more, what's the word I'm looking for here? Uh, we need to work on it just a little bit more. But there is a feature now where we used to have auto remove the AI inside of the bank feed. So now when you are inside of here, you'll notice this is actually an AI-ified selection here on the bank feed, but it doesn't have that window that pops up on the right that shows you stuff. And we've officially moved the memo to make it so it's now in a nicer spot inside of here. So now it's a very, you have to see what it looks like, I guess, and actually might be worth showing what it looks like with this turned off, but I don't want to refresh the page for the amount of time it'll take for it to reload.
One
Um,
thing I'll ask you to do, if it's possible, we have a live question from Mivoy. Is can you hide? Is there a feature to hide that left rail? So if your keyboard shortcuts are turned on, Control
yeah.
Alt minus should do that, correct?
Yes. Control Alt minus will get rid of that. Now you will have to do that every time you change over into. um, every time you change it to a new page. So just
Yeah,
be aware of
we
that.
haven't added an automation for that, which
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to, because that messes with the structure of QBO, and we don't want the support team to just go nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh, exactly. We've had that happen with other features before, trust me. And by the way, to get to this setting for both of these are both going to be in Bank Feeds Pro, and you get that just by going to this wrench and screwdriver icon in the top right here. And then once you are inside of here, Bank Feeds Pro, this two features are enhanced visibility in bank feeds and auto remove bank feed suggestions. So just two little things that we have either improved or brought into the new modern page.
yeah. One thing, can you go back into QuickBooks for a second, just because
Yes.
there's there's go bring the left rail back again with
Oh yeah.
Control Alt minus. So
Uh, Scroll.
so there's a difference between just hiding the left rail and then clicking on what QuickBooks calls Zen mode or full screen mode, which is that little square. So Zen mode or full screen mode.
Which,
Oh,
um,
weird that I have that
yeah,
gray
that's
bar at the top.
quirky.
Yeah, so that was supposed to close the top bar as well. Can you try the right tool one on the right toolbar? See if it.
Oh yeah, no, that same thing. It's just using QuickBooks' design Zen mode thing. So there must be either we did something that makes this not work, or they did. I don't know which one it is.
I'll verify on that. But what the Zen mode is supposed to do that's significantly different than just hiding the left rail is supposed to hide the left bar as well.
Yeah,
So
and the top part as well as
yeah,
that's the
sorry,
reason why I said it was quirky,
the
is
left
because it
bar
should
and
be
the
hiding
search
this
bar. I
top
meant to say.
part.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
meant to say the left bar and the search bar. So I'll need to double check to see if it's something that we broke somehow, or QuickBooks has it broken. But that's the difference on it, because it's not the same essentially.
Yeah. So yeah. Next thing on the list of things that we have an improvement for is, and this is a pretty big one, the batch delete from search. No, I don't.
By the way,
Uh,
it's QuickBooks that's broken. I just tested it without the right
okay,
tool extension.
interesting. Hey, I mean, I can't complain. It's not like I haven't done many of these
Yeah, yeah,
feature showings and had something be weird.
yeah.
Uh, so I can't 100% judge them for that. So yes, this is a new thing, or this is something we've recently brought back. It has been gone for a long time because QuickBooks was going through literally 10 different versions of the search page before they finally decided to land on the one that they're currently using, and they seem to be sticking with this one. So this is when you go into the search page, you should now see a thing in the top right here that says batch delete slash void. Before this feature was very, very like rushed, and so didn't have too much to it. But now we have a button. You click on that, it opens up this nice little window where you can select which transactions out of this thing you want to delete or void. And that's also another thing is that now we have the ability to void transactions in bulk. Just be aware that we cannot void or delete things that can't normally be voided or deleted. So, just something to be aware of in that case. But I'm just going to go through these just to select these, and I'm going to say, you know what, let's just do voiding on this and say, are you sure you want to void these transactions? Press OK, and it will eventually kind of go one by one through all of these. If you are not seeing the batch void or batch delete transactions inside of the search page, then you might need to go to Batch Pro. And inside of here, there is the batch delete in search right here. It might not be turned on. Or if you are in here and it's not showing up, you might have to like click in the screen one time. If it's showing on the upper left, let me know because that's actually interesting. It should be showing up right here. But maybe there are different versions of the screen even to this day that QuickBooks is working on. So feel free to send an email to me with a picture if you have if it's not looking the way it should. So yeah, just something to keep in mind on that. So we're really happy to bring that back because there are some things, well, most of the time, the batch edit or delete from register is what we suggest to people. There are things like purchase orders or things that just don't hit a balance sheet account where you want to delete them that you can only do inside of the search page. Um, Next thing. is the batch edit from reports. We've added three new things to the batch edit from reports area. So just to kind of show you what that is. First of all, if you click on this little plus icon in the right here, there will now be, you'll see an option here for RightTool batch edit in this red picture right here. This will open up a little window that shows you all the batch editable reports inside of RightTool currently. So there's three things that I just kind of want to point out. We now have the ability to change the is tax exempt checkbox on customers from the customer contact list. We have also added the ability to change the class on the line items of transactions since the last time we've been doing this. And also, we have the ability now to change the class on products and services. Now, that doesn't mean like transactions, I mean literally on the product and service itself. So, like what the default class or whatever is going to be on there. So,
One thing to add is the one you talked about earlier, change class on line items of transactions. That's technically not such a new feature because the built-in reclassify tool inside QuickBooks Online Accountant lets you do that. The
yeah,
difference would be that you're doing it from a report. So think about that. So because you're doing it from a report, you get the benefit of all the report filtering tools to then select the transaction. So yes, you could use the reclassify transactions tool to batch reclassify classes, great. But doing it from a report where you can filter things on whatever you want to filter that you don't get access to on the reclassify transactions tool that QuickBooks gives you, that's where the added benefit is.
yeah. And that's a lot of what RightTool does. Is a lot of like with the reclassify page, it has some limitations that we can kind of get past on our own end. That's especially something where change account on line items is one of the big things for that. Because if it's an item type of or if it's an item type line, you can't reclassify it from the QuickBooks reclassify. So I always have a little bit of a soft spot for this one uh,
Yeah. Can you
to
show
change the
people again
account.
how you get that window to pop up?
Yeah. So you click on the plus icon. It has to be on the right side. The plus icon on the right for the right tool sidebar. And inside of there, at the bottom right here, there'll be a thing that says right tool batch edit. And
Yeah,
if you click
and to
on that,
clarify, this is only in the Pro edition. Anything that's
yes.
batch is going to be on the Pro edition.
Yeah. And just to be clear, these reports, you might be like, oh, well, I went to a report and I did not have the ability to change the product or service on the line items of transactions from XYZ report. You have to go to the actual links that you see inside of here. Um, in order to make it so you can get the edit. That's because we literally add things to like the URL name to make it so we know to populate the batch edit. And so we know which batch edit you are trying to use. So there's two reasons that we have that in this one. And you can see here the product and service list is kind of a weird one. So we had to put the batch edit in kind of a weird spot. I'll admit that. But most of the time it'll be in a more normal location when you see the batch edit button inside of here. Um, so just something to be aware of. So yeah. Next thing and the final thing I'm going to show uh, is going to be the tab management. This is actually a free feature, actually. Reports enhanced drill down. So this is something people have talked about for a while. Reports enhanced drill down. If I go to a modernized report, and I'm just going to go to this one right here. Um, Now, I want to be clear. This, how do I put this? Hector, QuickBooks wants me dead. Uh, so this works only on the transaction level detail version of reports. I don't know why, like if you go to like a profit and loss, our reports enhanced drill down thing doesn't work the same way because QuickBooks doesn't work the same way on those reports. But on a transaction detail type of report, if I click into a line like this, it will eventually open this up in a new tab, assuming that the world wants to. Okay. Let's try that one more time and see if QuickBooks
I want
wants
to
to.
remind you that this particular company file, it's on the new beta version of the
Yes,
postmodern reports.
which might be okay. Well, that would explain why the thing might be weird about opening it up, at least, just because it's in the like beta tested version.
Yeah,
So that might
I
be
would
why.
switch to the other company, the one that doesn't have this version of the
The
because
funny thing is,
this is
I
the new
did
thing that's
test this
coming.
literally 1 second before we started this call.
Yeah,
So it should work from this page. I'm going to try it one time and one more time on this page. And if
yeah,
it doesn't work, I will go to a different file and we'll show it there, which is perfectly fine. But it should work in this version, in theory. Let's try clicking on you. How about that? You're going to do it then? Okay. Beta version has just a little bit of quirks they're working through, and that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I
Okay.
like the new layout. It's just like, it's beta.
Yes. Never mind. QuickBooks wants me to die. Is all is all I'm gonna say. And that's perfectly fine. Um, well, in theory, but if I can get it to show up, I'm gonna while I'm waiting for this to work the way I want it to. If you open up the report into another page from a modern report, it should open it up in another page, and then when you click save and close, there we go. It finally opened up in another page. I think it was because I didn't let RightTool load in completely when
Yeah.
I clicked on the button. That one was my fault.
I want to add some context, Mark, just because there's a lot of change happening.
Yeah,
This new, like, pause for a second. You
yeah,
see, you see how that customized button, see how that customized button is there when you click on customize, all the customization options open up in a single column where you can scroll to. What you're looking at right now is the beta version of a new change to reports that's coming in like the next couple of weeks. Okay. One
yeah,
of the major things that they added to this is that if you click on a transaction, change it, and come back, QuickBooks is going to add auto refresh to the report. That's supposed to be the biggest feature that they're adding, functional feature. The problem that we have with RightTool is if we set up RightTool, so instead of when you drill down on a transaction, if you stop clicking on that, you're distracting people.
sorry.
Okay, so the problem is what we have is if you set up RightTool to open up a new tab, it's not going to enable the auto refresh because QuickBooks is auto refresh on this new screen is meant for you to click on it, change it, and come back, but you're on the same tab. Since we're modifying the workflow and creating a new tab for you, which I know a lot of people like, we added also that auto refresh when
Yeah,
you are in a new tab. So that's the context, right? Because you're going to see QuickBooks advertise the auto refresh, and you're going to be like, wait, didn't isn't that something that RightTool did? It's like, yeah, sort of like because RightTool added it if we open the transaction into a new tab as a
yeah,
drill down workflow. But if you work within the new QuickBooks ecosystem with the new reports and click on it and stay on the same tab, they're supposed to. That was part of the big thing that they're adding to this new reports. They're supposed to enable the auto refresh whether you have RightTool or not.
yeah, exactly. Basically making it so now if I click save and close here and then say yes, even though because I don't care if it's reconciled, it will close this tab, and then you'll notice that the page will refresh after I close that, and it will
Right.
come back up.
So
So that's
we're triggering an auto refresh if you use the new tab workflow to drill down from a summary to a detail into a transaction screen. If QuickBooks, if you work within one tab without RightTool, you change the transaction and come back to it, the new reporting system in QuickBooks is going to trigger the auto refresh automatically, and you don't need RightTool for that.
yeah, exactly. I appreciate you clarifying that because yes, that's kind of the weird quirk of how everything works together in a weird, quirky way there. So. But yeah, that is the thing. And then finally, we've moved a couple of things from Experiments Pro to or to their final resting place. Like for instance, the report thing I showed you just a little bit ago, that was also in Experiments Pro. But now that is inside of Batch Pro. So we've moved a couple of things, but one example of that is Batch Edit COA was moved from experiments to being a full-on feature at this point. So.
Awesome.
Nothing too much to show on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you gonna give the screen back to me?
Yes, I'll let you have the screen back on this one.
Okay. So one free feature that we added, and it's kind of an improvement of an old feature, but it's something that I don't remember when it was suggested. It was suggested like less than a month ago. I think it was at in Miami during
Yes.
the reframe
Reframe.
event where people loved the feature that when you switch from company file to company file, it goes straight into bank feeds. And this has been a free feature since it came out. And I'm just gonna show you with that. That's gonna be in QBO user experience, I believe, or
Tab management for this
tab
one.
management. Okay. So inside tab, technically not tab management, but okay. Okay. So this one called auto open bank feeds when switching files. The purpose of this is most accounting professionals, the first thing that they do when they go from client to client is go straight into bank feeds. So all it does is when you switch from one company to another company, so just a simple switch from one company to the next, it will go straight into bank feeds. Okay, this one's a free trial that stopped working. Not a good example, but it did it anyway. So it goes straight into bank feed. So when you go and then back to another company, you switch over again. It switches over the company and then it goes back into bank feeds. That's it. That's what it does. Okay, it just goes straight. It kicks you. It kicks you out of homepage, goes straight into banking. People love the feature, but then we had a bunch of people tell us, hey, but I want to be able to choose what the home screen is. And then we're like, okay, maybe we'll have a box for maybe we can just put a box for for people to put in the URL. And then Mark on the spot thought, what if you just select which favorite and put it as number one. And then based on whatever favorite is number one, we'll make that the screen that QuickBooks automatically goes to when you switch clients. So if we go that route, then you turn on this sub option called auto switch to first RightTool favorite. And then instead of going straight into banking, it goes straight to whatever your number one or your favorite that has a one next to it is. So if I switch over to a client, what it's supposed to do is as soon as I switch, it'll go straight into the chart of accounts because that's the favorite that we put in there. So basically you can use any favorite that you put in there. One thing that we haven't tested is if your favorite is a non-QBO favorite, I don't know if it'll kick you out of QBO
I
and go
think
somewhere
it
else or just be
will.
careful with that. So I guess it will,
So
right? So we haven't created like a little safeguard to just double check that it's a QBO favorite before we enable that. But just make sure it's a QBO favorite and not like something that's not QBO because it'll kick you out of QuickBooks and you'll be like, what the hell is going on with my QuickBooks? So just kind of make sure that's in there. So that's actually a free feature, right? So the only real big free feature that we've added, other than the report one that that Mark talked about. And we also added a re-reconcile button. This actually was suggested in the RightTool retreat that we did in Winston-Salem a couple of months ago. And this one is really, really cool. So when you go into reconcile and you enable the feature, we're going to add a new button here called re-reconcile. So let me just go into maybe an account that I have reconciled at some point. Okay, it's a perfect example. Okay, so this account was last reconciled on 1/26/2021. We have a beginning balance that's broken. There's a difference of negative 239.88. By the way, right now for you to fix this, you have to re-reconcile it on the same date, which means I got to do the math. I got to grab this plus this number and add it here, or go fetch the bank statement and then go type 1/26/2021. Okay, so what we wanted to save you is all that extra work. So on the Reconcile Pro, it's called Re-Reconcile. It still has that new little marker in it.
oh, that's actually a new change we made, by the way, which admittedly don't do it on this one because I still need to put the video out. If you now click on the eye icon next to anything that says new, it
It
will.
removes the new indicator.
Yeah.
Okay. So when a new feature shows up, it will say new, and it won't go away until you click on I. Clicking on I basically means I know about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, it means I know about it. What we probably should do, Mark, I don't know if it's a lot too much to ask, but maybe up here we can have a button to bring the new back. So it can be kind of like the way people treat unread emails, where like they'll go back and say, I'll go back to it and they just gotta check on that feature. I
It's an
think
interesting idea.
I think people would like that. Put in the chat if you think that would be interesting for you to like, sort of like have all the new markers in there to know that you need to go back to it and learn about the feature and that sort of thing. And then we should upload a video for re-reconcile pretty soon. Okay, so back into here. So essentially, what does it say? It says re-reconcile. Okay, re-reconcile again. It's gonna do two things. One, it's gonna grab the last reconcile balance, which in this case is not 30,168 because it's a broken amount. If it's not a broken amount, it will actually copy that. But if it's off balance, it will do the math for you. So it just does it for you, and then it automatically types that date for you. So I'm just gonna click on reconcile once, and you can see that in one shot, a single click, it brought this in and it brought this in. So this could be used for re-reconciling something that's broken, or it could also be used for clearing accounts that you want to just continuously re-reconcile to zero. So one of the things that we supposed to have, I don't know if that's something that's not
Uh,
working on this screen,
it's
but
because this one we only if it's something where there's a balance off, we only will do the re-reconcile to whatever that statement ending date is. If you find one where there's not an off balance,
yeah,
which I
let
don't
me do
know if
that.
we have one that doesn't have an off balance.
Yeah,
Um,
let me do this. So I'll go with one that's got a clean balance. So let me close without
Finish now, I guess.
saving. So
Okay, there.
if you have a clean balance, so it could be zero, it could be something else. You can click on use last statement date and then click on re-reconcile, and then it'll just re-reconcile to the last statement date with the same zero, the same amount. But if you don't uncheck that, it will use today's date. So not unchecking that is for people that are just reconciling zero values all the time. Clearing the typical example is clearing accounts.
Yeah. And to be clear, if you had a beginning balance, it would go to that beginning balance. It just so happens that this one only has zero. But it does type in the zero for you. So if you ever have that problem where you're like, the zeros look like they're there, but they're not when you press start reconciling, the re-reconcile button technically adds that zero in for you.
Right,
Um,
right. Because QuickBooks usually has a zero there, but it's not. It's like a phantom zero. It's like a fake zero, and then you have to like remember to put the zero in there. That's actually a
yeah.
good point. Okay, that's it. So we kind of light with new features and really good update as for everybody that's watching live. I have a question for you. This is the interactive function. By the way, I don't have a hard stop. I don't know if Mark does, but if anybody has a question, I can answer it. We can turn off the microphone if you want to ask it live. We can show you anything that you need to know about RightTool. This is officially our last webinar for the year. So tons of FOMO, for even for me, because I love to communicate with our community. We have the best community out there. So what should we work on next? Okay, is there anything broken on reports? Like I know we've had a lot of feedback on reports, so we want to focus a little bit on reports. So if there's anything on reports particularly that's giving you a challenge, just go ahead and let us know via the chat. What would you like to see? Some people are saying nicer fonts on report. That might be doable, by the way, being able to change
Yeah.
fonts. That could be interesting. And the other feature that we want to work on really hard, this is probably going to be the biggest one that we want to work on for 2026. And I'll give you a little bit inside baseball. Mark, Patrick, and I, we were completely gung ho that we were going to build a separate tool, a batch editing tool, something we can just batch edit anything in QuickBooks. However, the built-in batch editing tools that Mark showed are very popular right now, and a separate tool would mean charging you more money, et cetera, et cetera. We want to add more features for pro users already paying for RightTool Pro. So within the ecosystem of batch editing using reports, what else do you need batch edited? If you request it and we can do it, we will probably do it. Okay, so just write in the chat, and I will say it out loud. One person is reporting that P&L allocation is not working on the new UI. Amy,
Well, she also said it in the classic, but I will say, Amy, if it's not working in the classic version, do you also have it so that it's showing the columns by class, location, or customer? Because that is one of the things. You have to have it showing as one of those. three
I'll share the
things.
context here. So reallocate from reports via journal entry, batch pro. So basically, when you pull up a P&L by class, so it needs to be a P&L by class, P&L by customer, or P&L by location, I believe. So the three. So if we do a P&L by, let's just do here, P&L by class, there should be a batch edit button up here. Now, in my version, because
Yes.
again, this is the this is the postmodern version,
Beta. Yeah.
which actually, and one of the challenging things about the postmodern, and I'm calling it postmodern, by the way, it's just, I don't know what the right name is. We have modern reports and now we have postmodern reports. The postmodern reports do not give you a switch back to classic. Okay. But with the really, so I hate that, by the way. I absolutely detest that. But on a different well, actually, no, never mind. They actually hit it now. They added here on the three little dots. Look at this, sneaky. So it
Okay.
doesn't have the button up there, but it's hidden on the three little buttons.
That's actually, by the way, for anybody here who's like, oh man, I hope they never get rid of classic reports. The fact that they put this button here is like really good news for you,
Yeah,
at least from RightTool's perspective, because if they're putting the button there, that means that there is something we can hijack, even if they take that button away.
right.
Um,
So what Amy was talking about is the reallocate button. Right now, you need to use, like, you need to switch back to the classic mode of the P&L by class or whatever, and use the reallocate button from there. Okay, just because we're still got to figure out whether or not we can get it work properly in all versions of modern and postmodern report, that sort of thing. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I'm a little bit miss here. So Dahlia is saying that income by customer summary doesn't have it. Dahlia, can you specify what is it that it doesn't have, just to make sure that we understand what you're trying to do? Okay. Balance sheet by class. So no, we don't reallocate by class. We only reallocate
well,
by P&L. There's all sorts of technical
well,
reasons.
we do
Um,
reallocate in the piano by class.
yeah, we can only, sorry. Yeah, we can do P&L by class, just not balance sheet by class.
Oh, balance sheet by class. Balance sheet
Yeah,
by
definitely
class.
not balance
Okay,
sheet by
my
class.
side, my bad.
Okay. Um, Uribe says batch edit billable expenses. So I don't know what they mean by that, but Mark, can you show the batch editing billable expenses? What we actually, no, we have billable
We
time, just not billable
Yes.
expenses. Okay,
Yes, this is actually a good point for me to bring up. Billable time, we can do something with. Billable expenses,
can't touch it.
I'm not saying we can't do something with it. It's just that it takes time that I have to like do a full dedication to because they are weird compared to any kind of other transaction in QuickBooks. So it's been hard to work on billable expenses, even though people have been asking. Um, And yeah, somebody said there's a hidden URL to get rid of billable expenses. It works weirdly enough, 50% of the time it works, 50% of the time it doesn't. I don't know why. Uh, and even then, it's only if you're trying to remove billable expenses. Sometimes people are like, I want to edit them in some way. That can be a little bit like challenging from our side.
Okay, Mark, there's a broken feature reported in the sales receipt. We don't
The
have
copy too.
the copy too.
Yeah, I saw that. There, if somebody saw me going like earlier today, that was because of the fact that I saw that comment, and I'll have
Okay,
to look
yeah,
into
and it
that.
looks like QuickBooks
By the
doesn't have
way,
their copy feature on this either.
since we are here, by the way, this is a new feature, but it's not literally, we don't even have it tied to a thing because I forgot to tie this to a setting.
Yeah.
If you have this new version of the sales receipt page where you have all of this stuff going on the top, there's now that hide details box right there that if you check it, it will hide everything except for the sales receipt date and the reference number and stuff. And
Okay.
it will stay even if you go to another sales receipt or refresh the page or anything like that, so it sticks. So
It
I just
sticks.
like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
That's good because there's just a
know.
lot of crap here.
It's a
And
lot.
so it's a lot of crap in here. And then you might just want to access this quickly here. And you don't want to be scrolling down to access that. Okay, that's really good. So is it just working permanently? Like it just you can't turn it off or on? It's not doesn't have a
Yeah,
toggle?
pretty much at the moment.
Okay.
And it's
All right.
only in the versions of sales receipts that have this. Not everybody
Right.
has that version, but
So well, we'll probably put that in the proverbial QBO short-term improvement catch-all one. Okay.
we do need to change the name of that at some point. But
All right. Let's see what else people are requesting here. Is it possible to show reports in bold type? Okay, so we don't have that yet, but it shouldn't be too hard, right? Like you want to make everything bold here. I think that's what you want. Who's asking that? Gary.
in theory, shouldn't be terribly difficult.
Yeah,
In
so like
practice, might be
there's already
more
a
annoying than you
built-in
think.
Zoom system, which I love. Okay, so like there's a Zoom system built in. QuickBooks added this um before RightTool did. By the way, I had I had this on my list of wish lists and we never got to it, but QuickBooks did a good job with the new Zoom system. So I like that. But I mean, changing the font or making bold, that might be something we can add. We'll experiment with that for sure, Gary. Thank you for that. Sophia asks, is there a way to bulk print reconciliation reports?
Not in
Mm,
bulk.
let me see.
Uh,
Let
yeah,
me
if you're
see.
wanting like the whole transaction detail reconciliation report, not so
Print
much
report.
that I'm aware of.
I think the challenge we will have with this is that there's only one, you can only do one at a time. So the only possible way we could do this, was that Sophia? Sophia, right? Um,
Yes, yeah.
the only possible we could do this is click a button here, and then we will go and click on print report, but somehow into like a new page, maybe like a new tab. I don't know if that's even possible. Like we would just basically duplicate the tab 10 times or something like that, and then it will do print on each one. We could probably experiment with something like that. We'll try. So if it's
Yeah.
possible,
I
we'll do it.
mean,
Sophia.
technically speaking, the closest thing we might have is actually in the chart of accounts, the reconcile dashboard, and then maybe we'll make one of the links go to this history by account. Not the same thing as bulk printing, but instead you don't have to at least go like one by one into everything. Or you don't have to like
Yeah,
go through the whole rigmarole.
but if they want to print a whole bunch of reconciliation reports from the same page, that doesn't solve that problem.
It does not. Let's be clear. It's just making it faster is my
Yeah,
point.
I actually like that idea. So just for some context, what Mark is talking about is if you use the reconciliation dashboard, is from the same screen, have a link to that reconciliation. Where would you have it? Because I mean, you can already do it by clicking on the reconciliation on the date. So what would be new?
Does the date take you to the last reconciliation date? Does that take you to the
Yeah,
history
it
one?
does it already.
Yeah, well, that's just what I'm saying is that you could use that page to kind of open up everything quickly instead of having to kind of like back out and then go into the next thing and then the next thing. Although I guess there's that drop down now for the account. I didn't see that before. That's my bad. So,
Yeah, yeah, you still have to do what you still have to do month by month.
yeah.
We'll give it some thought, Sophia. That's an interesting concept for sure. Is there a way we can somehow batch print
I'm gonna
reconcile?
claim that she cheated and she used the name of your daughter to make it so that you'd like her idea more.
Yeah, sure, of course. Um, can we have an automatic filter applied on bank feed categorized screen? It's a great tool for cleanup, but the initial load is super slow as a default everything transaction. Okay, so let's see what Casey means.
I think I know what she means. I don't know if RightTool can do much about that, only because we usually do things after QuickBooks does all of its work, just so we don't slow them down too much. So if we don't have much in the way of things we can do
Right. Like there
before.
isn't much in the way we can do in terms of speeding up the load time. I mean, we could automate, like if you wanted to go this route, whatever, like you wanted to show uncategorized and you wanted to show, whatever, like, this month, whatever it is, like if you wanted to go through a particular process to run a filter, we could do that, but I don't think we can intercept the loading time and then run the filter, right, Mark? Possibly not.
Oh
Now,
man, I didn't.
but there is a what you say?
I was just gonna say I was reading through the comments,
Okay,
so
okay.
that's my bad.
What I'm saying is what Mark is saying is we cannot intercept the loading time with the filter. What we could probably do is there isn't that many filters anyway. I mean, category is complicated. Um, Maybe give us an example, Casey. What filters do you usually use in here? That way we can maybe think through it, and then maybe we could add a button that says, run filter, and it'll have like a preset, maybe like the way we do with the reports, with the classic reports, maybe a preset or something. But we can't, like, it has to load first. But one thing that I'm thinking is, if you lower this to page size 50, you will increase the load time. I mean, you will increase the speed, right? Less load time. And then if you're going to be running filters anyway, maybe you don't need, all 300 lines. You can do 50 only. So if you tell us exactly, Casey, what do you usually filter when you come in here? Maybe we can think about adding that feature.
Anyways.
Okay. Linda says, batch enter Stripe deposits with fees on the second line of the net deposit on another line. I don't know, but I don't even know how to fix that. So a deposit will come like this, and there would be, I assume, some transactions that are coming from Stripe, something like this, and then she wants to automate the fee that goes in here. I wouldn't even know how to do that. Like, I wouldn't even know how to, like, where to get the fee information from and automate that. So Linda, if you
And
could
some of
tell
those
us.
just come down to having more. And some people have great suggestions. And if you can post, like, and I realize taking a picture of
Like
anything in
screenshots,
QuickBooks
yeah.
is kind of like, I know some people are more nervous about that than others, even if you like hide stuff. But yeah, post a picture as well as a description in, like, the Facebook group, or send an email if you want to send the email. It's just the Facebook group does get things faster because I am a victim of the fact that I have ADHD brain. So shame works well on me. Um, so just be aware it is a little bit better for them. Uh, so if you have something we're not currently talking about, you put in the Facebook group and we'll see it for sure.
Yeah. So Linda says, it sounds like we're onto something interesting. We just need some screenshots to know what we can do. And Mark, just kind of monitor the latest ones to see if people have answered the questions I've been asking out loud. Uh, how do we get re-reconciled to show? We click on the gear on the settings, go into Reconcile Pro, and it's called re-reconcile. It's the last one. You got to turn that on. Okay. Let's see. Let me see.
Ah,
Okay. Somebody's saying QuickBooks has a cleanup billable expenses tool. Yeah. The problem is it doesn't work.
I I don't have as strong an opinion on that. I just say that 50% of the time it works, 50% it doesn't.
It doesn't, like this thing, it doesn't work. It doesn't work ever. It doesn't matter. It
It
doesn't matter how many hopes you have.
I
If
don't
you,
know. I have seen it do some work at least. At the
no, it
very
doesn't.
least, it's
Like, it's
done
impossible
something.
that it did it in 2 seconds. It doesn't do it. It's a
It
placebo. It's
I'm
a placebo.
telling Alicia's backing me up on this. It works sometimes.
Okay, all right, fine. Sometimes doesn't work for accountants. Okay, it needs to work all the time, or not. Okay, let's see what we have here.
Now that might be Leslie said something that's interesting and also probably a really good point. And it's an annoying thing about QuickBooks everywhere. To be fair, not their fault. They said that it fails when customer names are inactivated. Probably works the same way for if accounts are inactivated too, if I'm being honest, or products or services or anything. So that might be it too. Is like we might just have always have files where we've inactivated accounts, names, products, services, something else or another, and that might be why it doesn't work.
Okay, all right. There is a question here about bulk enter. So bulk enter is a pro feature that allows you to paste transactions from a CSV file, so you can enter them here in batch. The question was around positives and negatives amounts. So the way we have it structured, and I have a spreadsheet somewhere. Actually, it's in Sheets. So I'll just
Goodness.
show you so I can kind of do a paste there. Okay, so I have a sample file here. So, okay. So let's say you have a whole bunch of transactions, date, reference number, payee, account, amount, whatever. And you come in here, you click on bulk enter, and then you paste it in here. That should allow you to bring the transactions in. Now, in this screen, you shouldn't be working with negatives and positives. You should be working with payment and deposit. It needs to be two separate columns. So, Joel, the challenge, the reason why your amounts are not working is because you have to convert your spreadsheet to work in this concept, right? Having a column for payments and a column for deposits.
Theoretically, if
Now,
it's in like an asset account, it might have only an amount and it should be able to take negatives and positives. But if it's not taking negatives, let me know. But it might be that
if it's
there's
a
some kind of weird.
liability or an asset account, you're saying,
Yeah.
right? Where it imports journal entries.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe.
And then and there's no way to show this in a single column. It always shows in two separate columns. So yeah, so we have to have it in two separate columns, Joel.
Um,
Um, Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say there's something else, and I realized that putting this 16 minutes after the webinar is technically over, and we're only having the people who are staying here for,
So these are
the
the true
love of the
fans,
game.
man. These are the true
Uh,
fans. These
I
are the
have
ones
two
that prefer to do
things.
this over having lunch or whatever.
Yeah, I have two things to share on that front, to those people. Um, so I'm gonna take a share of my own here. So one thing is Hector did a vibe code thing and we added it in. Um, and so I just forgot that we did this, to be honest with you, because it was kind of so quick that we did it.
Which feature? Which
This is this is actually tied to the batch editing projects feature, I think. Don't quote me on that.
you wanna share your screen? Because I don't know.
I am sharing my screen. You might not see it because you were sharing your
No, go
screen.
ahead. Go ahead and share it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you should be. I think everybody else can see my screen. Uh, So there is a thing where in projects we now show the net profit margin underneath the percentages. So like it'll show how much the income versus cost ends up being, not just what the
Share your
percentage
screen
is.
again. You're not sharing it.
Here, I'll share it again, even though I think everybody else can see it.
No.
But Zoom is weird about that kind of thing, to be
Yeah.
fair. So that's
Now
fine.
now we can see it.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, this is just the thing where we have that profit margin percentage. It now shows a net underneath it.
Oh,
Now,
so you enabled it.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
We should have showcased that.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong.
What
So,
what did you what did you what toggle is it attached to? The batch edit projects?
yes, I think it's tied to that
Okay.
at the moment.
Yeah. So like this
Um,
feature was literally requested yesterday.
yeah. Um, the other thing I want to show, and this is, I'm hoping that Alicia is still here because she probably would have a great insight into this. And I'm gonna have to open this up in another tab. Let me just get that open real quick. Choop, choop. It's big. I am currently working on and need help with. Oh, come on. It will show up eventually. Or maybe it won't. I am currently working on a thing to help with accumulated depreciation slash accruals and making stuff like that. Let me just remove something really quick because because I want this to work.
Oh, you mean like grabbing, like basically
Yes.
generating a worksheet of journal entries to import and then having us automatically create those journal entries?
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a great idea.
Assuming that this is why I should never edit things the day before we do a friggin' webinar.
But do you have a working copy of it or
I did at a point. I'm just
okay,
gonna
okay.
remove a whole bunch of random stuff here
I
and see
haven't
if
I
that
haven't seen
works.
this, so
You have not seen it at all, so this is completely new. I wanted to have something better to show in the lead up to this particular.
can you refresh your screen? Like we're not seeing anything.
I know you're not seeing anything,
Okay.
which is real frustrating for me if I'm being
Yeah.
100% honest.
But this feature is not live.
This
This
is
is
not live. This is just something I'm going to need assistance with, because the journal entry is visible, but what I'm trying to do is show there will be a pop-up that we'll make that will let you do stuff, but apparently, the world is against me, and that's just how life goes, unfortunately. So I might have to do a separate thing that I'll send to
yeah,
Alicia
yeah.
sometime and be like, I
Yeah.
want to get
Don't
some
don't
feedback
don't
on
show
this.
people like stuff that you haven't even finished. Um, can I ask you something? Somebody says that they're finally seeing vendor notes when entering a bill. You know what that's about? Is there something we
I'm
did?
sure we did something with it, if I'm being 100% honest with you.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know exactly what they're referring to. If you want to
Okay.
try and
So
go to a bill and see, well, I get this
I'm
thing
yeah,
working to the
I'm
point
on a
where you
bill,
can
but I don't see
visualize it.
anything. I'm testing it out.
That's fair. That's fair. Uh,
Yeah, I'm not
yeah.
seeing anything at all. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Um, or maybe no, I'm not seeing it.
Give me, I'm annoyed.
Somebody says, I love the fact that I can see vendor notes when creating a new bill. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't see it in my screen anyway. Um, that is interesting though. It would be interesting for us to kind of fix that. I'm going to share the screen one more time.
Yeah, yeah.
Switch
Here, I'll
back to
stop it.
sharing my screen. Um, so what I think they want, let's just assume the feature doesn't exist. What I think they want is if if you were to edit this vendor, which you can't do it from here. So I gotta go to pay details and do it from here. And by the way, would it be possible to open the vendor trouser? Um, this one inside of the bill screen? Like, do you think you could have access to that, or maybe not? Well, anyway, I think what people
Probably not.
want is they want whatever the notes are, the vendor notes are here. They want it to load here somewhere visually. So I don't have to go edit the vendor to look at my vendor notes, because having vendor notes could be relevant to creating a bill. So I
You know
wonder if
what
that's
is
something.
interesting? No, never mind. Never mind. I think I was like I say, I thought I worked on that, but I might have just thought really hard about working on that. So
Yeah.
that might have been me, okay, interpreting things in a slightly weird way.
Yeah, I
Um,
know that in invoices we did that. We have a shortcut for it, but for bills we don't. So I don't know if somebody saw it. Um, but maybe we'll add it.
you want to know the reason why it wasn't working, by the way? I didn't even realize I had two tabs open and I had the wrong tab open to show the thing. I
So
was.
so you are gonna show the accrual thing?
Yes, I mean it's not even real. It's just something that I just want to get some feedback on more
All
so
right,
than
we
it
got
is
180 people in, so I'm pretty sure there's enough, and they're all accountants, so they all have opinions.
yeah. So yeah, what this would be is you run this and it would open up something kind of like our
Go back for a second. Let's just kind
yes.
of start from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea is you have a journal entry.
Yeah.
Journal entry is the first entry, is the purchase of the equipment, that you need to depreciate, or prepaid expenses that you need to accrue over time, right? So like that's the
Yes.
first entry. Okay. Then the next step,
The next step is you have a button that will say something like accumulate or depreciate,
accrue, yeah,
something
accrue.
accrue or something like that. For this specific use case, we'll say depreciation or something.
Right.
It'll have a button there. You click on that, it will open up this area right here where it will have the original transaction lines over inside of here. And you can click on each one that you want to use and be like, okay, this is the accrual period.
This is the one
Here's
that you want to modify.
Yes. So you can be like, okay, this is the start date of when we're going to have the accumulation, and then there's the end date. Then you select the balance sheet account you want it to do for the accumulated depreciation part, and then the expense account to expense it against.
Okay, so
Uh,
then select one.
yeah,
Select
well,
one.
and I don't have, this is how far I've gotten this working. I
Okay,
just
okay.
have
This yeah,
dummy
this is an
data at the
example.
moment.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so you would click save, and because of the fact that I've been working on too much stuff, oh wait, okay, that's fine. I can just, let's
Okay,
just add
so
this
so then
as
the
today.
start date and the end date. So basically, based on the start date, it will create a journal entry.
Yeah.
It will divide it by the number of months that are in that period,
Yeah.
and then it will do a journal entry to reverse that. But yeah, I know, because you select both
Well,
entries,
and
right?
that's where it's like we're gonna need a lot of. We might have to do a discussion in our own self just because it's such a big thing. We're gonna have to like kind of work through what all the potential ideas are here, and so yeah,
I
that's
like
part of
it.
it. But I think it would be cool. It would not be a replacement for Accruer. Let's be very clear. But I think it would be cool to have something that could be used on a like one off or on a infrequent basis to help with accruing things or doing accumulated
Awesome. And,
depreciation or
and and
stuff.
we know that the QBO Advanced has some semblance of this.
Yes.
So obviously this would be useful for people that don't have Advanced, right? So any version of QBO, it doesn't really matter
Yes.
because we're creating the journal entries for you.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Okay.
and of course, everything wants to be fine. It's okay. But yes, I think it will be cool once we get that going. Let's let's copy
Okay,
this
cool.
out.
Let me see what
Uh,
else. Is there a way to
yeah.
batch edit journal entry numbers? So could it be possible, Mark, that one of the batch edit tools that we have is a report that only shows journal entries, and then maybe we select a whole bunch, a group of them, and then we give it a new set of numbers or sequence to use, and they just go in there and change that and fix them. So it's like not fixing the weird numbers that QuickBooks generates.
But
Uh,
like starting with a number and then saying like you'll
yeah, like the
go
way we do with batch
sequentially.
edit in the register, where we can enter checks in batch in the register, but do it with the journal entry through the batch edit report screen
I
because
mean,
it
as
looks
long
like
as
it's mostly
people are
cleaning up.
Yeah, as long as people are fine with the numbers being kind of like, I'm not saying random, like it will be sequential. It's just that, you're not going to have like too much, what's the word? Like fine granular tuning of which journal is going to be numbered, which one in the sequence. As long as
Yeah,
people are okay with that, I mean, we could do it. That's always been my thing is like how much do people care? Like,
no, people
oh,
care.
does this journal entry number have to match exactly to this specific journal entry, or are they just happy to
No,
have
it would be
numbered
just
journal
clean
entries?
sequencing. So it would
Yeah.
either be make all this word and this date, or make all this word and then start with this sequence, or make all this month. Like I think we can think through these ideas fairly easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, fairly easy. Just to clean them up. The other thing that we could do, and I guess we'll take feedback on this too if you're watching this live, is one of the things that drives people crazy is the journal entry numbering system. So add a word there. So just type type November 2025 on the journal entry number. Is the thing that
November
drives people crazy.
2025.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
yeah. Then you
click
create
on save and
another.
new. Click on
Yeah.
save and
Save
new.
a new. And then it'll add November 2026 on there.
Right.
Or
Well,
apparently, oh, it's because this wasn't a new journal entry to begin with. I think
okay. Yeah. So
QuickBooks
create
has a weird
new journal
thing.
entry on November
November,
2025.
pretend like I spelled that right.
Yeah, that's fine. And I guess that's what people kind of want is
Nope.
they want to fix this challenge. And I don't know, like this should be super easy for us to fix. We just don't know what logic to use. Like how do we know what to put in there? Like I don't know what to put in there. Like I can fix it by putting something else, but I have to put something. So I we can either auto delete it for you or automatically suggest something else. It's just not clear to us what you want to put in there. Okay, somebody
Uh,
says put
okay, so
today's
what I'm
date.
hearing from you, Hector, is that maybe we should have something that's similar in style to like what we have here in the batch edit projects. Oh my God. Stop it, QuickBooks.
Now you're talking about you're talking about cleaning journal. You're talking about cleaning journal entries for cleaning journal entries, or I'm talking about for automatically changing the number on a brand new journal entry.
Oh, well, I mean, automatically changing is going to be always just not something we're going to have super good ability to do. Although we could make like a $1 a month, a $1 a month thing, be like, hey, we'll automatically change these journal entries or something like that. But what I was saying for the purpose of this is we want to do it from like a batch editing from reports type of situation for the name. We could have something like this where it's like we'll find the text, or we don't even have to say find text, but we can say like append or something. This is find and replace. I should have just done append or prepend or something like that. I don't
I
know.
think I
Interesting.
think Tash Alex has a good idea. Is what if it's just a timestamp? So go back. So yes, okay, let's just close the circle on this. So for batch editing, so batch cleaning up journal entries that have random numbers, an interface like that is going to be great. For fixing the weird nomenclature journal numbers, maybe we can add a little button next to journal number. Imagine a button next to journal number called timestamp. And basically it just puts today's date and time. And that's it. Just boom, just puts that in there. That way people, they just there's just no random names. There's just the timestamp. And then later on we can think through other logic things. Maybe people want to put their name, and the
Okay, yeah,
timestamp.
fine. Stop it. I don't care, but so we have a thing, auto void. Let's see here, error prevention. We have this custom void memo automation name thing where where you can change the name that you have when we, do void memo automation. We could probably do a similar thing-ish, but
Yeah, I
just be
like
like,
that.
my name, and then put like curly braces and say month, year, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that could work.
Something like that could happen. The Kate Lee's thing for the adding like the 001 thing at the end. I don't know if you're saying you want that to say 001 every time or you want it to
No,
be
no, this just means
incrementing
they
up.
they mean they mean sequence, which is actually more complicated. It's really
That one's more
complicated for us.
complicated now.
Yeah, of like doing a sequence is something we're not gonna be able to do because we have to go back and read all the ones that have a sequence. Just too much. But what we could do, I think, is well, you can add a custom text, and then you choose whether you want a timestamp. Um, and then if the timestamp is right now or the timestamp is just the date of the journal entry. I mean, the date of the journal entry. So we can either do custom name plus the date of the journal entry or custom name plus current timestamp. We can do either one.
So many options. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, but we'll have
Which
we'll
is
have
not,
sub options for that.
yeah, no, which is not like a big deal. It's just interesting to think through. This is the fun, it's one of the more fun aspects of accounting that people don't talk about is the the fact that everybody has their own system.
Everybody has their own system. Yeah,
Which
logic's not easy.
Yeah, I don't know. Something to
Um,
think about.
I think we can end it. I don't think we
Yeah,
have
people
any
at this
other.
point are probably like, "Oh my God, what are these people doing? They just
Like,
ramble for
go get a
hours."
job, people. They're like, go have lunch. Okay, awesome. All right. That's good enough, man. I appreciate Mark. I may not talk to you until the end of the year. So if that's the case, happy holidays and what am I kidding? I am gonna talk to you probably every day, like I always do. But if I don't talk to you in a Zoom format, happy
Yeah,
holidays,
yeah.
happy New Year. Thanks everybody. We'll see you on the next webinar on February.
Happy holidays, everyone.